Here's a song with clapping game that your older kids will love. Long-Legged Sailor. Hi, I'm Laura with Oodles of Music, trying to give you ideas to make your teaching life a little easier. Here's how it goes. Pretend I'm across from a partner. Have you ever in your long-legged life seen a long-legged sailor with a long-legged wife? No, I never ever in my long-legged life seen a long-legged sailor with a long-legged wife. There are many variations to this song. Some do a little salute on the sailor word, and there's a variety of others, lots of varieties. Look on YouTube if you want to see some different ones, but this is how I taught it to my kids. You're in a double circle and you do the opposite hand taps, switch, tap, and then it's your good old right clap, left clap, then whatever the adjective is. So it's long, so you're going to go long, and then you're always going to clap on whatever the body part is. So in this case, it's legged. And then I go ahead and do two hand pats instead of going back to right and left, right? Have you ever in your long-legged life seen a long-legged sailor with your long-legged wife? And then you always reverse it. No, the answer is always no. So the fun comes in different verses. You can then do, of course, short-legged. Have you ever in your short-legged life seen a short? On like that. And then one of my favorites is bow-legged. Have you ever in your bow-legged life seen a bow-legged sailor with a bow-legged wife? Another one is hairy-headed. Have you ever in your hairy-headed life seen a hairy-headed sailor with a hairy-headed wife? So the real value comes in letting partners create their own verse. It requires that they collaborate. It's also a great chance for them to reflect and put their own ideas into a verse. And that's where the beauty comes. Once they've had a couple of minutes to figure it out, the partners share with the class and everybody gets to try each one of those. And usually they can get pretty hard. And it's so much fun. Then I always secretly wrote down my favorites. And then the next class, I would put those in as my verses, a couple of them anyway. I always had then this long list of great verses that I had made up and the kids had made up. If you ever get a mumbling or a murmuring that this is a girl's game, or you see a hesitant to do hand clapping kinds of things, you could always bring in the fact that these are perfect, quick drills for things like football and basketball, where your timing and your speed and your agility really matters, because this game goes fast and you've got to be able to move quickly in all sorts of different directions. I always pulled that out of my back pocket whenever I would see someone hesitate to do something that they thought wasn't for them. And it's not that everybody responds to the sports analogy, but many times they do. So I'm going to end with some of my other favorites. Have you ever in your crooked back life seen a crooked back sailor with a crooked back wife? Have you ever in your pigeon-toed life seen a pigeon-toed sailor with a pigeon-toed wife? I need some agility training on that one. Have you ever in your limp leg life seen a limp leg sailor with a limp leg wife? Have you ever in your waxy-eared life seen a waxy-eared sailor with a waxy-eared wife? Have you ever in your humpback life seen a humpback sailor with a humpback wife? Maybe I wouldn't do that one. Get this game going. You don't need screens. You don't need anything digital. Just kids in a circle having fun playing the game. It's a winner.